Good morning, world. I am Judy, your web-based therapist, making therapy accessible and convenient for our clients in Florida and New York, and of course, sharing information worldwide. Today, I want to take a moment and talk about 5 tips for making access to self-care easier or making engaging in self-care easier. Because as much as we talk about it, especially these days, everyone seems to be talking about self-care, and people genuinely, a lot of them really do want to engage and be more proactive with their self-care. But of course, they often face barriers that no matter how much they may want to engage in self-care, that barriers that get in the way. So that's why today I want to talk about 5 tips for making self-care easier to get to. But before I get into that, I want to take a quick moment and say, if you are subscribed, thank you so very much for being a part of our awesome world. If you're not yet subscribed, please take a moment and click the subscribe button below so that you can join all this awesomeness. And remember to tick the bell so that you are notified when I post new videos so you don't miss anything. And of course, if you'd like to purchase 1 or 3 of my books, also a link below that will take you to a site that shows you all your different options where you can get 1 or 3 of my books. Okay, let me get back to it. First thing that's important to do is to learn to step back, and learn to delegate. One of the greatest barriers in the way of self-care for most people is time. They tell you that they don't have time, they can't find the time, they can't make the time, they have so much to do that it makes it impossible to engage in activities that are more person-centered, that activities that are more centered around them, because people have children, people have spouses, people have jobs, people have all sorts of responsibilities to the environment and the people around them that makes it more difficult for them to engage in, to be able to take a little bit of time for themselves. However, when you start learning to step back, when you start learning to delegate, it allows you to create and make that time for you, make that time to do the things that are important for you, for your personal health, for your personal well-being. Many people get this feeling that the world absolutely needs them and will crumble if they stop doing everything for everybody. I'm not trying to be mean. The world will go on. It doesn't. All these things that you feel that you have to, that you're the only person capable of doing for everyone and everybody in every situation in your life, all these things, if you were not there to take care of them, somehow people will find a way to get done the stuff that they need. So it's okay to take a moment and step back. It's okay to take a moment and take some time for you, because the world will go on without you. But if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't make the time to nurture and take care of your body and make sure that your body is healed and healthy to do all the stuff that you're putting on it, when you crash, you're the one that can't go on. The world will find a way to move forward. But when you let your body get to that point where you're crashing, when you let your body get to that point where you're burning out, you may not be able to go on. But everyone else, all those people who depended on you, all those situations that if you didn't do them, the world will explode. All those things you will notice will still figure out how to get done because, hey, you can't do them. So we need to figure out an alternative. Learn to step back, learn to delegate, allow other people to take on some of the load. You don't have to be everyone's savior. You don't have to be the doer of everything for everyone. 2, don't overthink it. No, you do not need to Nam-myoho Renge Kyo for 30 minutes a day or 2 hours a day or however long people think meditation should be. Self-care is simple. Self-care is easy. Self-care is what works for you. And in a different video, I talked about the importance of learning or understanding what your self-care needs are. Every person's self-care needs are different. For one person, your self-care need may be that you exercise daily. For another person, that your self-care need may be 30 minutes of quiet. Figure out what that self-care thing, what makes you what helps refuel you, what helps refill you, what helps you rejuvenate, what helps you get the rest that you need, what fills you. Figure those things out, and what pleases you. Figure those things out. And those are the little things that you will need to do to help take care of you. Self-care is not a 3-month retreat to Bali and I forgot the name of that book. I did listen to it, but I forgot the name. Eat, Pray, Love. That's not necessary. That self-care is not eat, pray, love. Although that could be a great way to take care of you, but you don't have to do that in order to engage in self-care. Self-care is in all the everyday activities that you do to make sure that your bucket is not empty, to make sure that you're not running on fumes, to make sure that your body is healthy, fueled, and healed and cared for. And you're giving your body the nutrients, you're giving your body the resources that it needs in order to carry you through for, all the stuff you're asking it to do. So don't overthink it. 3, have a go-to list. Most people will say, yes, I'm going to do self-care stuff. And then they don't know what to do. And they spend 30 minutes or 2 hours figuring out, okay, what do I want to do? What would be a good self-care activity? And then 3 hours later, they're still trying to figure it out. And then it doesn't happen. Having a list, having a go-to list gives you access to easily accessible things that you know are going to be there, so that if something, for whatever reason, you're not coming up with an idea, that you at least know, hey, these things work. I'm going to do these things. So make sure that you at least have that going. Have some type of activity, a list. And when I say a list, I usually mean no less than 3. I prefer 5, but somewhere between that 5 and 10, where you have a list of stuff that if for any reason you know that it's your time, you need to engage in your self-care, and you don't have a specific activity that you were thinking about, something that's calling you, go to your list. 4, incorporate self-care in your everyday life. It's not necessary. Many of us don't have the ability to take 2 days off however. Many of us don't have the ability to take a half a day. But there are ways that self-care can be incorporated into your life. For example, maybe you have 3 kids and they each have a different activity that you're chauffeuring them to across town while you're waiting for your child who's at baseball practice. That could be a good time for you to take a walk if that's what you need. While you're waiting for your child who's at dance class and you're not inside the dance, maybe that could be a good time to get that pedicure that you've wanted. Find ways to incorporate the things that you want to do into the schedule that you have. Yes, part of it is going to be making time for the things that you want to take care of, making time for you, making time for that self-care. But making time for self-care does not necessarily mean that you're going to automatically wait until you can find a day off. Making time means finding little pockets in your day that you can utilize to take care of you. Create little pockets in your day that you can utilize to take care of you. And finally, make it clear that this is a priority to you. No one in your life will ever ask you to skip your doctor's appointment to come do them a favor. Don't go to that meeting with your boss so that you can do me a favor. People will generally not ask you that, but they will say, skip your workout to come do me a favor. Skip your whatever self-care activity because, it's just self-care. It's not like it's, important or something. People will, until they realize this is a priority to you, they will always see it or they will often see it as optional time that they can have access to you because you're just doing things for you. It's just you. So make sure that you make sure that people know that this is a priority for me. This is something I intend to engage in. This is something that is non-negotiable. So that means when it's your time to go to the gym and your friend calls and say, hey, come do this with me. No, I'm working out. You could come work out with me if you'd like. That's assuming that you want them. or whatever it is, whatever your response is going to be. Stop negotiating your self-care time with other people, because they're people who are not prioritizing what you need for you are not prioritizing you. So if someone is not prioritizing you, why exactly are you prioritizing them over the stuff you need for yourself? So no one will ask you to skip your doctor's appointment to do them a favor, or at least I hope they don't. So make sure that they know this self-care is as important to you as any doctor's appointment. Let's do a quick recap. 1, learn to step back and delegate, because it is important that we find ways to take off the load and stop being everything to everyone. Let other people take care of some of the stuff so we can have time and find time for us. Don't overthink it. It's not you don't have to do some big to do about it. It's the small things, the small everyday things that you do to take care of you, to help refuel you. Those are the things that self-care. Have a go-to list so that if and when you need to do something, you want to do something, but you can't think of it, at least you have a list of options that are available to you. 4, incorporate it into your regular life. There will be times you can easily find pockets in your day, but you may not be able to find giants, a big 3-4 hour block, but you can find pockets. So when you find these pockets, find ways or create ways to incorporate your self-care into your schedule, because that makes it easier to engage. And finally, make it clear that this is a priority to you, so that people don't start looking at your self-care time as other time or bonus time that they can, ask you for favors. Yeah, that's about it. As always, if you or someone you know happens to be going through something that's more than you can handle, please remember that there are professionals like myself who are available, able, and willing to help, and are even providing remote services who can assist with whatever you may have going on. So please figure out who those people are in your community, so that if you need them, you can reach out and get the help that you need. And that is all we have for today. Good morning, world. Have an awesome day.